Namaste, angels. Thank you for joining, liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. I do appreciate it. This is the bi-weekly reading for the sign of Leo, my fellow Leos, for the period of today, Monday, November 4th, through Sunday, November 17th. I say my fellow Leos because I myself am a Leo rising. Leo, we have the strangest energy thus far. I'm just going to start out. There's some of us likely have heavy air and or water also in our chart, and or are dealing with a water and or air sign in some way, maybe even a part of some sort of party of three, possibly even a love triangle involving air and water. And I say that because right off the bat I have this balance card, which looks very air and water. It actually feels very temperance like to me, and temperance represents the sign of Sagittarius in the tarot. But it looks very air and water. We have this male, and let's say presumably masculine, who just looks like he's in need of some sort of healing. And we have the feminine here being his support system, and she looks emotionally balanced. You see the balance there by the look on her face. He looks like he has something maybe to say that he's been holding on to for a long time. You can see the pain in his eyes, the distress in his face, but also I notice he's got these spheres very like strategically placed over the communication centers: throat chakra, third eye chakra, crown chakra, and those are ruled by air signs. In fact, Mercury, the great communicator of, or the communication planet rather, of the zodiac, ruler of the great communicator of the zodiac, Gemini, is currently retrograde in Scorpio. So that may be, at least in part, what this is about. But in the spread here, in a position of energy surrounding us, we also have the King of Swords upright. He too is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, or perhaps representing Mercury himself, or even Venus herself, even though it's a male. Venus enters Sagittarius this week, but had also been located in Scorpio, where Mercury currently is, and not only where Mercury is, but where Mercury is currently retrograde. So speaking of Scorpio, in our position of love and relationship, we do have the Knight of Cups, who may be a direct water sign, and further to that, a Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Or the Knight of Cups in the position of love and relationship can just be representing the fact that that area is about to get lit up. If it's not already, like if you're not already in a committed relationship, then you're likely to meet somebody who's going to like completely knock you off your socks, out your socks, how they say, sweep you off your feet, and just be like a real romancer, but not in a phony kind of way, not in a fraudulent kind of way. This is genuine caring and nurturing and potential love, lasting love. Maybe somebody that you know already and has perhaps been out of your life for a time and is returning, coming back. That can often be what the Knight of Cups, or who the Knight of Cups is, whether he's a water sign or not. He's often somebody that we know, in my experience. So even if it was just like a friend or something before, and now he's going to come back, and you guys may try to, work on something romantic. Yeah, that's usually the way it goes. And that can be because of Mercury retrograde. So these two cards together could be representing that energy. The Mercury retrograde tends to bring people back from our past. But other than that, I might as well start with that position of love and romance. When the Knight of Cups is in your position of love, it's just super, super positive. One of the most positive ones you can get in that placement. If you are single, again, you're about to meet somebody, is what the indication is, who's just going to really turn you upside down, really sweep you off your feet, and you're going to just be very emotionally fulfilled and happy. If you're already in a relationship, the Knight of Cups can indicate what they call final commitments, like marriage or cohabitation, or at least, moving into whatever the next phase is for you, a deepening of your commitment. But speaking of marriage and cohabitation, this is your position of work in finance. But that aside for now, this is the Four of Wands. It's all about commitments and perhaps marriage, cohabitation, being just filled with joy, maybe moving to be closer together. You can involve a home, a household, family, happiness, remodeling, and maybe for the purposes, again, of a relationship. It can be indicative of a deepening of commitment in general. It's sitting here under the Seven of Pentacles, which the Seven of Pentacles upright is in the position that is most, representing us over the next 2 weeks. So like this is our overlying theme. And what Seven of Pentacles means is that it's time we got to return on our investment. And it looks like many of us are, right? We've put in a lot of effort and now we're reaping what we've sown. In our work, we've put in a lot of effort because, again, this Four of Wands is in the position of work in finance. As it relates to work in finance, it means that, things are probably going really well in your job. And, whatever you do, people, your bosses and your customers or clients or, whatever is appropriate, they are happy with you, happy with your performance and with how you treat them and everything that's coming out from you. However, there is like a warning not to get ahead of yourself. Like, don't think because you've got the Four of Wands that you've sort of maxed out on what you've got to do and you don't have to put the effort anymore. You don't have to work, anymore. It's like reaching the top of a mountain and then realizing that there's another hill. Like, oh, I thought I was done and you got to go again. Or how those of us who, have been on any type of spiritual journey, find ourselves on a spiritual journey and you talk about the healing that you've been through and it's like, glad that's over, but it's like, it's never over because there's always something else to be healed. There's always more ways to grow. And, if there isn't, then what? We're all meant to continue evolving. And that's the same thing with this. Like, okay, so you're doing great in work, but then what? You want to keep those clients. You want to keep your business booming. You want to keep getting raises and promotions and maybe transfers to other places, or maybe they relocate you and put you up in a house. That could be what the Four of Wands is about. Then you're going to have to continue to work hard. So again, it's return on investment. You putting the effort in, then you get something out of it. You stop putting the effort in, you're going to stop to reap these kind of benefits. But getting back to love for a second, those who are single, as it relates to this Four of Wands, definitely if you get invited to any weddings or other kind of events, maybe holiday parties, there could be a Christmas party, a Hanukkah party with what's coming up, a Thanksgiving party or dinner, any other type of large gathering or whatever, that could definitely be a place where you meet somebody. So, get out there. When the Four of Wands shows up, you see events and great places to meet really, really good people. And you may find yourself to be the one catching the bouquet and then you'll be the next one to get married. As far as your finances, the only card here that doesn't say, specific, with emphasis, good omen as it relates to finances is the King of Swords. So what he does say in the face of all of these other really, really positive cards is that it's time for you to be a little bit more generous with your finances. So maybe making donations to organizations that support causes in which you believe or support causes from which you benefit. It's time for you to start paying it forward, maybe perhaps for somebody else who can't afford to reap similar benefits as you from these organizations and or causes. The Seven of Pentacles is a really good omen as it relates to money. The Four of Wands, which is the one that's in the placement of work and finance, is a fabulous card as it relates to finances. And it means that not only things likely going well already, but they're about to get a whole of a lot better, especially sitting here next to the Nine of Cups, right? He brings messages of good news, of things that's going to make you emotionally fulfilled and happy and put a huge smile on your face. So the only one that doesn't, and normally can mean as it relates to finances that you need to know like what your finances are. You need to have an idea because, he's sort of no nonsense and, all about the facts, the King of Swords. But yeah, the facts are everything looks good other than him. So when that's the case, he shows up to say that there definitely needs to be a little bit more generosity, and that helps for your that all that just came to me helps for your or our overall energy to now make more sense, because I'm like, why is the Four of Pentacles here? Because the way I feel about the Four of Pentacles is, I usually describe it starting out with a work and finance scenario. It's like that job that you just keep the job because it pays the bills, but you don't like the job, you don't like the people, they don't like you. You just go there because you get a check. And then similarly in relationships, it's the same way. I'm still in this relationship because this one pays the rent, or they help me pay the cable bill and they watch the kids, and we've been together for 50 years, so no point in parting now, even though we can't stand each other. It's like that sort of thing that I tend to get with the Four of Pentacles. But in addition to that, the Four of Pentacles, is very commonly known to represent either like holding on to something too tightly or being too generous with something. So I'm going to have to take it as holding on too tightly, with the King of Swords also showing up, to your finances. And in order to keep your flow going in a positive way, you need to become, part of the flow, part of the system, and, the laws of attraction and karma. So you got to get some donations out there. And it's just like payback, or again, it's paying back from something you benefited, or it's paying it forward, or paying forward for others who can't necessarily do it themselves. And here is, we have right behind our Four of Pentacles, we have an Eight of Pentacles, showing again that we're reaping what we've sown. So again, things are going to continue to get better, and specifically with this Four of Wands here. But again, it's going to require work. That's what the Eight of Pentacles says, and that's what the Four of Wands says. Yes, things are going to get better, but you have to put your effort in. And then look what's behind this here. So a lot of abundance coming for the sign of Leo. So of course I'm happy, because again, I'm a Leo myself, Leo rising. Ace of Pentacles also upright right behind that. If you run into any kind of, challenge on the way, in doing this work, or you feel like you're doing work and you're not reaping the benefits, you're not getting the return on your investment, the Nine of Wands says keep going, keep pushing, keep doing the work. It's about to pay off for you, right? Don't give up just before you get the check. That would be crazy. You know how they say with the lotto, you got to be in it to win it? Like, you're on the brink and don't give up now is basically what that says. Let's look at these cards. So again, we have this card Balance, which for me feels like a temperance card. So the energy of temperance is a very healing energy. It can be about differences. So like I'm white and she's blue, those kind of differences, and figuring out a way to come together despite them. So you may have had some sort of situation like that, particularly if you're dealing with a King of Swords or King of Swords type in this romantic relationship. The King of Swords, as it relates to love, says you're going to have to take him as he is. He is, again, very no nonsense type of person. And, he can be overbearing because he can be rigid. And, that can be difficult. He can be like forceful and opinionated. And, people may take his strength as a little bit abrasive, and it's just too much. But if this is a person that represents your mate, your intended, the person in whom you're interested, your beloved, whatever you want to call them, then it means you are going to have to accept him or he or she as they are, and it's going to help you. This is a very masculine energy. Again, whether it's a female or a male, or somebody who themselves, maybe by mouth, identifies as a masculine or feminine, whatever they say, this is a very masculine energy. So you, in order to be able to coexist in a positive way, and for you guys to complement each other like yin and yang, you are going to have to be able to draw on your feminine nature for that to work out. And that may be from why the water is coming into play, why the water is involved, because that can like sort of soften him up a bit, this King of Swords. And speaking of Mercury and Scorpio, or the potential to be dealing with a water sign from these two cards, And that water sign may be more likely than Cancer or Pisces with whom you're dealing, because we also have a card here called Death. And of course, in the tarot, the traditional tarot, major arcana card Death indeed represents the sign of Scorpio, a sign of natural transition and transformation. So there's growth here, there's evolution that I was talking about. We never want that evolution to stop, because if it stops, what does that mean? You know, to me, it means that we've stopped, and, you know, maybe we're no longer existing on this plane. Like, if you're going to be here, we need to continue to be growing, healing, evolving. So Death. Oh, okay. Also, right behind that, also upright, is Chariot. Now, in the tarot, again, major arcana card 7, the Chariot is representative of water sign Cancer. So maybe the water sign with which you're dealing is, again, Scorpio, then Cancer, then Pisces, in that order, if a water sign at all. Charge ahead with confidence. Stay strong and focus. Also, some of us may be in part a Cancer ourselves, right? We may be a Cancer, Leo, Cuspian. I mean, that's not to suggest that we can't be in part Scorpio. It could be a Scorpio moon, Scorpio rising, you know, something like that. Have heavy Scorpio on our chart too. Let's look at these then. Further advice to the masculine to support our other messages. It's a very Piscean energy now for me. This card, Dreams. Now also, it's kind of like a combination of Pisces and Aquarius, because well, Piscean energy and Neptune energy represents the dreams for me. Goals. It's very, you know, 7 of Cups. You know that card. All these options and head in the clouds. And what am I going to do? What are my plans? What do I want? My wishes, my dreams. But at the same time, this sign of Aquarius is about, you know, dreams coming true. Prayers being answered, right? Wishes being granted. So they kind of come together for me with this card. Also, this card, it comes across very communicative, because I picture getting messages in our dreams. So that's another way of like this, like an Aquarius Pisces merge, but they are right back to back. Right after Aquarius comes the sign of Pisces in the zodiac. So they do sort of come together. And the Aquarius is called the water bearer, even though it's an air sign. It's right there where it's located in the celestial system is considered like this ocean, you know, so that's why it's the water bearer. And I just feel those two energies coming too very strong. So the King of Swords, if he's a real person in your life, perhaps first and foremost is an Aquarius, and then maybe a Gemini, and then a Libra, like in that order, I would say. So dreams coming true, wishes being granted, prayers being answered, also getting messages in dreams. And that includes daydreams, you know, when you're awake and you sort of go off for a second by yourself and you have like a revelation, an epiphany, an aha moment. Pay attention to those. Write them down if you need to, if you're not good at, you know, remembering those sort of details later on. Also, the ones when you first wake up. If you're not good at remembering the details of your dreams later on, keep like a notebook or something next to your bed so you can write them down, because I think over the next 2 weeks, you're going to be very strong in this gift. I don't even know why I'm putting this over here. This belongs to the masculine. Masculine, you are going to be very strong in this gift. And it's kind of historically, there's 2 famous Josephs that had the gift of dreams. Joseph, Mary's husband, and Joseph, Jacob's son, both had like the tremendous gift of dreams. So I feel often that it is a heavily male and or masculine trait, because I see it in a lot of the masculine with whom I work too. In any case, you're going to have the gift over the next 2 weeks if you don't have it already. If you do have it already, expect it to get stronger. Right, and for it to really kick up, and for you to really get messages. Mercury retrograde tends to do that also. You know, we find ourselves getting a lot of, having a lot of like really vivid dreams, lucid dreams. Feminine for us from the Universal Love Oracle is miracles. So expect some surprises. Expect, again, getting swept off your feet by somebody that's coming back into your life that you maybe weren't expecting to ever see again. You know, all of a sudden they come back and they're a totally different person. They're a romancer. Maybe even a King of Swords. You know, he softens up a bit for the sake of love. You know, other miracles. Again, improvement in your finances. You thought everything was going good, but now all of a sudden you're just doing really, really well in whatever field you are, whatever your industry is. As long as you keep your momentum as far as your work goes, you're going to continue to keep reaping here, Leo. Also, from the fortune teller card, speaking of the star, I was saying I was feeling such strong star vibes from this card that I couldn't even like focus really. And here's a star. Hard times are over. Look forward to an abundance of happiness. I think look forward to an abundance, period. An abundance of happiness, enthusiasm, and positivity. Yes, I agree with that. Again, the star in the tarot represents the sign of Aquarius. So I think that is validated when I just said maybe here with the King of Swords. For those of us who are dealing with a direct air sign, it might be in that order. Aquarius and then Gemini, because all the Mercury that I've been feels that I've been getting, and then Libra. I myself am, you know, this could be like my energy. Even though again, like I identify as feminine, but this could be my energy. Although I'm a Leo rising, I'm a Gemini sun and an Aquarius moon. You know, so it could be coming through that way. And maybe for some of you too, that could be how you're resonating with these additional energies. There's like a lot of characters at play here. Lastly, for the feminine, very, very nice. From the fortune teller card, over the next 2 weeks, luck. Your luck is up. You are right to be strong and optimistic about the opportunities ahead. That means just move, you know, charge ahead toward them, because you've got this, is what the cards are saying. And again, that's the look of it all around. This whole spread is saying that. So enjoy, Leo. Have a good 2 weeks. Thank you again for watching, sharing, subscribing, liking, commenting, all the things that you do to support me, the channel, the videos. Please do also watch your moon and rising sign if you like a more full picture. If you have a mate already and you have questions about what they're going through, you know their sign, or somebody that you're interested in, you know their sign, watch their reading too. And if you identify as a divine being, a twin flame, anything like that, you may also want to tune into my weekly love and general readings as well, and my moon reading. I have my Scorpio moon reading up for the past week and a half that is still in effect through the 11th. Yes, we have the next major moon transit on the 12th. So that reading is still in effect. All right, I'll be back for you guys on the 18th. Thanks again. Namaste.